Hello to all my story lovers. Welcome back in Storytime channel. I'm Pallavi reading interesting stories for you. Now, today's story is taken from Mahabharata, The Five Golden Arrows. Let's go to the story. The Mahabharata war took place in the battlefield of Kurukshetra and went on for 18 days. During the first 10 days, the commander in chief of Kaurava's army was the old and respected warrior Bhishma. Despite his age, he was a fierce fighter and killed a great number of soldiers. Duryodhana, however, was unhappy. He had noticed that Bhishma, who had played the role of a great grandfather in his life, did not intend to kill the five Pandava brothers. Duryodhana was well aware of Bhishma's affection for them and was upset about his grand uncle's partiality. Unable to let things be, he approached Bhishma's tent one night. "Grandfather," said Duryodhana, "you are a fine combatant, but I am ashamed of you. You are sage Parshurama's disciples and one of the greatest warriors in the world, and still you haven't been able to kill even one of the Pandavas. I have feeling that you are actually fighting on their behalf in the secret." Bhishma was hurt. With much effort he calmed down and replied, "How can you say that to me, son? The world knows that I am sincere in my duties and true to my word." Then he pulled out 5 arrows from his quiver, closed his eyes, and touched them briefly. The arrows glowed with a color of gold. "What are these?" asked Duryodhana, afraid to touch them. "I have energized these 5 arrows with my strength and vitality, one for each of the Pandavas. If I use them in battle, they are sure to hit their target. There is no escape, I assure you." Duryodhana was pleased. If grandfather uses these arrows tomorrow, then the Pandavas will certainly be destroyed, he thought. But I can't trust him completely. What if the hands over these arrows to them? So he looked at Bhishma and said, "Grandfather, I will keep the arrows and hand them over to you tomorrow." Bhishma understood what Duryodhana was implying. "I am the one who created the arrows with the specific purpose of destroying the Pandavas. Don't you have faith in me?" he questioned. "Please, grandfather, I would like to keep the arrows with me tonight," Duryodhana insisted. Bhishma nodded and gave him the 5 arrows. The news of the golden arrows reached Krishna through a spy, and he immediately told Arjuna about them. Seeing Arjuna's alarmed face, Krishna said to him, "Do you remember your encounter with the Gandharvas during the exile?" he asked. Arjuna recalled the incident. Once Duryodhana brought his friends and camped near the hut in which the Pandavas lived, so he could keep an eye on them. While he was wandering in the forest during the visit and making fun of the Pandavas in loud voice, he met some Gandharvas and got into a heated argument with them. The Gandharvas and Duryodhana agreed to a short combat. Within a minute, a Gandharvas defeated Duryodhana. They tied him to a tree and began making fun of him. Yudhishthira heard about the incident and immediately asked Arjuna and Bhima to go and help Duryodhana. Bhima refused, but Arjuna obeyed his elder brother and rescued Duryodhana. Duryodhana was ashamed of his behavior and felt that it was his duty to give Arjuna something in return for his assistance. He said to Arjuna, "You have freed me from the Gandharvas. Tell me what you want and I will ensure that your wish is fulfilled." "I don't want anything. I only came because my brother asked me to." But Duryodhana insisted on returning the favor somehow. Finally, Arjuna said, "Let's keep this on hold. If I need something in the future, I will let you know." Later, Arjuna narrated the incident to Krishna, but he himself forgot all about the favor. Now, Krishna reminded him of Duryodhana's promise. He said, "Bhishma's arrows will slay you and your brothers. It is time for you to ask Duryodhana for the favor he owes you. You know what to do." Arjuna went to the Duryodhana's tent that same night. After they had exchanged greetings, Arjuna reminded him, "Do you remember how you had promised me a favor whenever I needed it? After I defeated the Gandharvas who would attack you." Duryodhana nodded. "Well, I would like those 5 golden arrows that grandfather has given you." Duryodhana wasn't expecting this. Even though he was very upset, he knew that he had to keep his promise. He sighed and handed over the arrows to Arjuna. "Here, take them," he said. "But tell me, who advised you to take the arrows from me today?" Arjuna smiled. "You already know the answer. It is Krishna." Helplessly, Duryodhana watched Arjuna walk away with the precious arrows. The next morning, when Bhishma asked Duryodhana for the arrows, he hung his head in shame and said, "I am sorry, grandfather. I gave the arrows to Arjuna. Can you please create them again?" "Sorry, Duryodhana, I can't. Had they been with me, I wouldn't have given them to the Pandavas. You have handed over victory to your enemies with your own hands," remarked Bhishma. This is the end of the story. Do you like it? Then comment it. Subscribe my channel. Bye bye.